program at the Institute for American Values, my old job. I'm the author of The Case for Marriage, our friend Maggie Gallagher. Maggie, hey, how are you? Thank you for coming, as always. He is the driving force behind the band Better Than Ezra. Their new CD is closing. I listened to it today. This is really good stuff. You guys have hit your stride in stores everywhere. Kevin Griffin, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, you have. Very good. Ah, Hedwig is here. I tell you, I have been a fan. Have you ever seen Hedwig? Hedwig, Maggie? Oh, my God. Since, I know, it's not a mainstream thing, but Hedwig, I gotta say, Roger Daltrey's on the show tomorrow. Tommy, the great rock opera, but this, no backseat to Tommy. Hedwig is, it's a movie now, and he is the talented writer, director, and star of the big screen version of it. Ladies and gentlemen, whether you like it or not, John Cameron Mitchell is right here. How are you, son? Pleasure. You know I'm a big fan. And he is the pioneer of punk and a rock archaeologist, whatever that is, the ever-reserved John Lydon, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Phil. Mr. Rotten, how are you?
Ugly as usual.
Okay. All right, Maggie, you don't have your book here today. I know.
Oh, we stopped selling that.
Okay, but now what is your title there? You are the head of the what happened?
Actually, I'm now an affiliate scholar at the Institute for American Values.
The Institute for what?
American Values.
American Values.
American.
Because you're the person who always argues, and so eloquently, for marriage, and I'm not against marriage.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm just...
Yes, you are.
Unless you're married to yourself.
For myself, but I mean, but it works for some people.
Yeah.
Okay, but I've been reading...
Don't close the door. Maybe you'll meet the right
You're
girl.
right, exactly. No, at some point I'll have
Don't
to.
institutionalize it either. See, you put down rules and regulations for everyone, and that is not right.
I don't
That's
put
not
down
about
rules and
values, it's about
regulations.
dictation. Well, marriage, that's a personal choice issue.
Well,
Why are you
right, nobody
about
should be
it?
forced to get married. That's true.
I know, but you...
And
Okay.
not even Bill, but I do think that if
Not
the
even.
right girl comes along, it's a very good thing.
That's none of your business.
Yeah, you know, I know, but see, for some of us, it's not about the right girl, it's about the right institution. Anyway, the reason I brought this up,
What
and
is
I'm
the
glad...
right institution for you, Bill?
Divorce. That's what I was bringing up. You know that people are having around the country now divorce ceremonies. I think this is a wonderful thing that people are and I knew this would make your head explode.
Look,
and that's why I'm bringing it up.
Celebrate death, wakes, right? I'm a Paddy. I celebrated my mother's death, so why not a divorce?
We celebrate everything, every transition in life with a videotape. You know, whether it's a bar mitzvah, a birth, a wedding. And now people are doing it. They're having these called divorce ceremonies. I think it's great.
Yeah.
They pay tribute to the years they had together, and they say, basically, we're going to leave as friends. Instead of having a fist fight in the courthouse parking lot, they're having a divorce ceremony.
Good idea.
Well, so long as they're happy, that's fine.
Yeah,
but
no,
to fake happiness, that would be a rather miserable state of affairs.
It kind
Bill,
of just
the truth is...
Why not be angry if you really are? God, say anger is an energy.
I agree. I agree.
2 or 3 people are having divorce ceremonies, and half of them are writing books to profit from it. The reality is that, you know, when you
You're
divorce
profiting
someone...
off marriage.
When you... No, I wish.
Your book is. It's out of print.
If you divorce someone, you're saying, like, I don't love you anymore, I'm not going to be responsible for it anymore, you're not part of my family anymore.
Exactly.
And there's not a very nice way to do that. And I think the theory, it's fine if you want to do it, it's not a problem. But the theory that if we just have these ceremonies, that somehow the sting of having the person who promised to love you until death do us part come and say, I'm sorry, I've changed my mind.
I don't necessarily agree with you, Maggie, but the notion of a ceremony where people are going to just slap each other on the back and go their separate ways is kind of discounting basic human emotion. There's too much anger involved in it.
Not always.
You're also kind of speaking for yourself. I mean,
marriage in America is a very frivolous state of affairs anyway. That's what E! Entertainment and Extra and all those programs consistently tell us.
But isn't a wedding really more for the family often and for the friends?
The woman.
And
what
the woman.
man ever wanted to go through that whole mishigas?
Here we go.
I have friends that, I'm gay, and I have a lot of friends who want to get married who are both guys, and they want the ritual, or at least the...
but those are guys wanting to be women, so...
This,
That is, yes.
I'd slap
No,
Marvis.
no man who
That's
marries a woman
mean.
wants a wedding.
Wait,
I'm going to tell Danny Fields you said
wait
that.
a second. Let's get real here. That's what he said is so not true?
Oh,
Gays don't want to be women?
what are you talking? I mean,
Some of them,
generalization
you've
is
been
that?
dressing up as a woman
Actually,
for every night of your life for the
know.
last 3 years.
I don't want to be a woman. It's like I like dressing up
wants
as a
to be
woman
a man.
sometimes. But you know that most sex changes are actually straight people?
Wait a second.
Like, yeah.
They are
Right,
after
look.
the operation.
No, they're lesbian. Like, ever since I did Hedwig, I've met a lot of sex changes. And I don't want to be a sex change or anything.
No.
But most people, I found out, I didn't know, that, like, you know how they say, you know, the Ed Wood syndrome, like most guys who are transvestites are straight just because there's more straight people? And the same percentage of straight and gay want to dress up in the opposite sex. Actually, more people who want to change their sex, gender dysphoria, which is just a way of, you know, feeling like you're the other sex, born in the wrong body, most sex changes are straight people, so that I met a lot of guys who become lesbians, in effect.
But most of my guy friends consider
I've been
themselves
trying to
lesbians.
meet people like
and then
that.
they want to have sex with women.
They're always straight. They're straight, and then all they want to do is change their sex, but they still like women.
They want to be a woman and like women.
Well,
Exactly.
only in America.
They want to be a lesbian.
Only in America.
Wow.
There's your family values.
I'd love to be... I'd love to be trapped inside a lesbian's body, wouldn't you?
Have done several times.
I'll bet you have.
Got stuck. It was terrible.
But getting
Like a
back
cat,
to
you
the
have the
thread
barb.
where we were
Yeah, but
getting
can I
to
just-
was
can
what
I
he
just
was
finish what I was saying?
marriage, about women.
Okay.
Yeah, women want the wedding ceremony. Every
It's
guy
true.
was
It's
like, oh
true.
my God, we're going through this. It
And
takes
sure,
months.
a lot of gay guys, you know, have the feminine energy, and they want the ritual, and they want the friends to accept their union.
Gay guys have feminine energy. Could you agree to that,
Well,
sir?
I mean,
Yes.
a lot of them do, yeah, and a lot, whatever. It's
Okay.
like kind of,
This
it's like
is not a great bombshell of news we're revealing
exactly.
here.
But I'm just saying, I'm talking about the ritual itself.
You know, I've noticed something, you know, ever since we embarked on this path towards gender androgyny, there are more and more, I hear more and more tales of
Who's
straight
doing that?
guys who, like, want to help pick out the China pattern. Don't you think that's really
Well,
kind
I
of
can say,
awesome?
I'm
End of
getting
the Roman
married.
Empire.
And are you
I'm getting married on October 6th.
Wait, wait,
You're
wait.
getting married?
Getting married.
When?
Congratulations. A brave man.
No, but you know, I must
I didn't
admit-
see any men applaud. I really don't.
I must admit that my fiance is definitely more into the logistics. But you know, I've been down getting it. We've got a Casey and the Sunshine cover band playing. There's a little Zydeco.
Guy picks the
Really?
band.
That's my job, and I'm kind of down with that. And we're gonna have a good time. It's gonna be this kind of little Cajun B&B.
You're just trying to stay out of the doghouse, like every
No,
man.
no.
Yes.
Hey,
Yes, you
Bill,
are.
Bill, there's
You
only-
just don't
Bill,
want to piss her
There's
off.
only so many nights you can hang out in South Beach in the VIP room. You know, so.
Who are you speaking
No,
of?
guys
don't
wanna-
know.
No, there's a difference. Guys want to get married, but he's saying guys don't really care about the wedding. That's
No,
a different thing.
Right.
Oh,
Go,
Right?
well,
a lot of guys want to get
no,
married, right?
No,
You got to
no
admit
guy,
that.
no.
Oh, that's
I don't
not
agree to that either. Not a lot of guys want to get married. So,
Well, how
yes,
come
there is
so many do?
there
For
is a
every
per-
woman who marries,
because
there's a
it's their
man.
best option.
It's their best option.
Men are only as loyal as their options. If they had options, they wouldn't.
Well, I don't know, not all of us. I've been
Listen to
committed
this.
for 22 years to a woman I
Because you've been
extremely
committed way
love.
before that.
For different reasons and different subjects, but let's focus. That's me and my personal choice.
Right.
And I would not dictate that for everyone, because we are not all the same. We should not be, otherwise life would be incredibly tedious and dull.
you consider
And this is
getting
why
married?
I do not advocate any rules or regulations or stipulations whatsoever for anyone on anything.
We got to take a break. We'll be right back. President Bush addressed the nation tonight, wow, pledging limited support for federally funded stem cell research, and thus angering conservatives who say these embryos are really just very young human beings. And they may be right, because today Gary Condit asked one out. So the... this place on earth to legalize same-sex marriages, but they forgot one thing. They have no word for it. Well, today they asked the German people to come up with a word because there's no German word for a gay marriage. Although, when two lesbians over there get a place together, it is called a Munchausen. All right, I've been waiting for a show with a bunch of musicians here. I want to do this. There was an article in the paper about, it's got to be a month ago now, about Gil Scott-Heron. Anybody know who that is? People call him the grandfather of rap. He's a great jazz musician. I really don't listen to him, but I've always known who he was. Okay, apparently he likes crack a lot. So the people around him are trying to basically shut down his life.
Again, taking away his personal decisions, his own pride, his own destiny.
That's
interference. His own drugs.
People laugh. That bothers me.
No, people
I
don't laugh.
agree with
I'm the only one laughing.
No, they're laughing.
Well,
right
that discredits you, really, then, doesn't it? Because it's not for you to dictate whether he should or should not indulge himself.
Anything. I'm just having a conversation on television. The reason I'm laughing is that if you've ever had anyone close to you who's had a substance abuse or drug abuse problem, I mean, it's just terrible for the people who actually love this man.
Tough tits, but it's none of your damn business. It's their personal choice.
No, that's ridiculous. You can't make somebody stop. But it is if you love someone and they're destroying themselves, it is your business.
Heartbreaking, but a reality
it is your business. This theory that, there's not much you can do, truthfully. If they're intent on it,
really.
You can't stop it.
Back off. It's his life. His own life. If he decides to be irresponsible to other people around him, you cannot change it. That's his decision.
But you know what?
Leave well alone.
You can gripe a lot, and you can point it out, and you can do what you can to have him face the consequence. Yeah, you can.
That might help, but I doubt it.
I admire his girlfriend. All around him, he's got
functioning.
these.
He's a functioning crack.
He's a functioning crack.
He does his gigs. First of all, he's a jazz musician, okay? There's a little bit of a history with drugs and jazz musicians. They're not quite like other people.
Right, well, that's why I think the music fans don't care.
Don't you have to grade a little bit on the curve?
Well, I don't care. I mean, the people who listen to music don't care. I'm just saying the people who actually love him as a human being and care about him.
Well, that's the debate, is how do you really love him? He would say, leave me alone. This is the way I want to live. You're right. My teeth aren't that good. I miss a gig every once in a while.
He's saying he's not a crack addict. He's saying he's not an addict.
He's saying that just to get the judge off his case.
My teeth aren't that good, and I miss a gig every once in a while, and I don't do crack.
But John, what would you have done? I mean, if there was a way to stop Sid...
You cannot stop people's personal choices. You just have to accept that that's part of their personality.
But can I ask you, though?
There will always be this 1% who are addicted.
Ask the question, for God's sake.
Okay.
No, I mean, probably the person that I love most in my life was a coke addict, an alcoholic, and he was in a band that I worked with, and he had to get kicked out of the band. He had to get kicked out of his apartment and out of his job for him to do something about it. If you actually possibly could have got all the club owners in the world to say, Sid Vicious can never play again.
Wouldn't have done it. Wouldn't have done it.
If you could have, you wouldn't have.
No.
You don't think it would have changed anything?
That would be absolutely intolerant of me. My attitude was, bye-bye, Sid. If that's going to be part of you, you ain't working with me. But I never interfered in his drug habit. I couldn't. It's not my personal business. It's not my area to indulge in.
You're also assuming that club owners have some type of moral imperative in being in the business.
My God, what a life would we lead? It's like, you can't do that. We disagree.
We all know that club owners are right above primordial ooze in ascending level. I can't see that at the annual caucus of club owners in Vegas. Right after talking about stem cell research, they talked about Gil Harry Scott and what can we do?
You're right. And the club where he plays a lot in New York, the club owner said, I didn't realize that playing God was something I was supposed to do. And I kind of agree with that. If it's his choice to live...
I think if it's possible to do what you can to help someone hit their bottom and they're about to kill themselves and you feel that strongly about them, you got to do what you can do. You can't make them stop, but you can create an environment where they realize...
We are influenced by each other.
Let's get rid of them then. That's so weird. Let's like cancel food from them.
Well,
yes.
No more fatties.
You're right.
You know, where do you go with it?
Yeah, that's
it goes
true.
on and
There's
on.
a lot of ways to kill yourself.
I think their motives
Two
are pure.
teaspoonfuls of salt and you're dead.
Yeah, but, you know, I mean, you have to draw the line, obviously, but if there's something you can
let's
do...
You know what? If you love someone, then you nag them about exercising and losing weight and being healthy. You don't say, it's your personal choice to do whatever you want.
Nagging. We're back to the marriage issue.
I don't
I gotta take a break. We'll be right back.
Join us tomorrow when our guest will be the Who's Roger Daltrey. From Ebert and Roper, Richard Roper. Comedian Jake Johansson. And from Straight Talk, Pam Stencil.
And leapt into the gorilla exhibit at the Bronx Zoo yesterday. The man said he meant no harm to the gorillas. He was just hoping that one of them could explain to him the ending of the Planet of the Apes movie. All right, we were talking about Gil Scott-Heron. And listen, speaking of unhealthy codependent relationships, there is a very unhealthy codependent relationship going on right now in the United States, and it is between the Levies and the media. This is sick. These people, I don't blame the parents. People who have a daughter missing will do anything, but the press camps out on their lawn hoping they'll say something, and then they come out and say something. And keep them there every day because they think this is their best avenue of keeping the heat on, is to talk to the media.
Yeah, desperate for something to do. Because, I mean, your daughter's missing. You're going to be incredibly stressed out. But it's gone wrong, hasn't it?
But it's worked.
And I don't think anyone is being kind to these people by, at this point, indulging them this way with the press. Yeah. And, I don't blame the mother for anything she says. If it was your daughter, of course, you'd say crazy things, too.
Total.
But it's about time the media did something a little more...
But exercise some moral self-restraint?
A little more than what they're doing, like maybe play piano in a whorehouse. But it is a codependent relationship. That is the very definition of a codependent relationship. They need each other in a sick way.
I'm not sure the media's role can be justified, but I don't think it's necessarily sick on the part of the Levies. I mean, they're doing what they can, which is not a whole lot.
Yes, but no one is saying to them...
I mean, Gary Condit has still not gone before the police
but they're
taking a lie detector test. Yeah, I mean, they're trying as best they can to try to get what information
I'm not blaming them for taking any avenue possible. I'm blaming the vultures that are lurking around.
Oh, yeah, no,
but I'm also...
The press, the flies.
But people want to keep it going. No one has the guts to say to them, you know what, stop. They're not going to call out the National Guard, okay? And when someone is missing for this long...
The responsibility is that the presses should pull back, or the levies should pull back and
well, I mean, at least do some investigative reporting, say, per chance. Because I've seen very little of that. It's all really just gossip mongering.
She just basically comes out and says, my life is hell, waves, and goes back inside.
Yes, I mean, they're there every...
Right, and there are these, like, what is she supposed to do? There are these reporters camped out in her yard. I mean, it's not like she controls the press.
Whoa. But I'm telling you, it's codependent because they talk to them every day. They do want them there because they feel the media is an avenue for them to put pressure on the rest of the world to find their daughter, and the media is not going to help them with that. People are already doing whatever they can. They're not going to call out the National Guard, and I think it's crueler to exploit this. It would be kinder to say, look, you know what? When someone's missing for this long, they're probably not coming back. Stay in the house. The press go away. What?
It's hard to say. Are you going to say that to her?
I just
the problem is there is a congressman here
and
who lied repeatedly and who did sort of weird, flaky things like have his own private lie detector test and release it instead of meeting with the police.
But it's not really about him.
But yes, it is. I mean, this is the one thing they are clearly trying to do, which is to get Gary Condit.
Until he's a suspect, it's not about him, and he is not a suspect.
You want it to be about him because he's an adulterer, but it's probably not really about him.
We don't know who it's about, but that's the only lead they have, and so they're pursuing it as aggressively as they can. And his behavior has been very
it's one up from the face on a milk carton, but it's not really getting anywhere.
Yeah.
Well, it's got, it's at least gotten them
it's
somewhere.
working for I think it's a mutually exploitive situation.
Right.
And let me illustrate with an analogy.
Hurry up.
I lost my dog, and for a week I exploited my friends with flyers all over the place. And their interest lasted about a week.
Right.
Now, if my dog had been banging like a senator's dog, I'm sure that it would have gone to 2 or 3 weeks, but it didn't. Moral as far as I found my dog.
I've lost a dog too, and
so
I understand.
At night you say, you know what, I'm lying here watching TV, and my dog's out
You're
there.
right.
So,
I got to take a commercial, but yes, I understand. Doll 3, Richard Roper, Jake Johansson, and Pam Stenzel. Better Than Ever, good stuff. And Hedwig, Nights Like This.